Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about how we're going to initially style and shape this sweet old Hollywood juniper, Juniperus chinensis Torulosa. This tree is a monster, the biggest juniper I've had at the shop, but Torulosas are a larger growing, more upright tree. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean up a lot of the deadwood. We're going to make sure that it's nice and sound, make sure that it's treated to arrest any rot or any insect damage. We're going to find which areas we're going to have to bring down or carve down. I'm going to try to make these as natural as possible. We may do some heavy wire, some guy wire, open them up, spread them out so we can get some good sunlight further in, get some back budding. Once the main branches are set, we may even do some grafting. Normally, I like to wait a few years for them to be healthy before I start working them. This tree was really old. It didn't take off very well right after we collected it, which kind of worked well because we had so much other stuff to do, but really it didn't start growing well to the 4th year. There's something to be said about, the natural grain. So as we're doing the initial exploratory search on this tree, what we do is we find that live part and then we clean the edge between the live vein and the deadwood that we're going to be treating. That way we have a definitive area of deadwood and live activity. This is the first hour of cleaning this up. All this was kind of an exploratory, finding out which was solid, finding out what needed to be removed. We found the first live vein here. It has really beautiful twisting. There's a lot of deadwood in here that needs to be cleaned up. A lot of it the lines need to be cleaned up with more detail work. And we have another live vein over here. And then there's another live vein. This is just the very beginning of probably a few days of work. So what we're doing is we brought it over here in the shade. We took it out of the pot because frankly it was 3,000 pounds, a little bit too big to put in the trailer because we have to bring this about an hour to another location to pot it up. So we took it out of the pot, didn't cut any of the roots, took out just some of the original clay that was underneath it, and then just wrapped it. Moistened the root ball and wrapped it in the bag. We're keeping it moist, we're keeping it in the shade. What we're doing right now is David is exposing the veins. We're finding the life veins. We're finding out what is solid deadwood that we can continue to clean up. We're not going to try to do some aggressive carving. We're not going to use machine bits. We're going to try to do it just to where we're accentuating what's already happened by nature. I'm not going to do any wiring at this point. We're going to take it, we're going to put it in a pot. Junipers need their foliage for strength, so I'm not going to cut much of this off. I'm only just going to get rid of any of the dead, any of the weak, to let the sunlight in there so it can create more foliage and get established in the container. This is a great example how it's starting to get some texture. Some of it's starting to rot away, but the way junipers rot away is they rot in grooves where the younger outer wood starts to rot away and the center red heartwood tends to resist it a little bit, a lot more. So we'll come in here and we'll just brush and clean it up and present it. Some branches like this one has almost reverse taper on the ends. So more than likely with this deadwood, we're going to shorten it substantially by splitting it, tearing it, and pulling it so it appears more natural instead of a cut flush. This is very unnatural. A lot of this looks really fresh, obviously, but we're going to continue to work it and shape it to where you can really see this beautiful wood grains without a lot of this freshly pulled stuff. Because a branch that was just pulled off would have this, but a branch 50, 100, 150 years from now would have a totally different look. We're not going to eliminate the rot, but we're going to slow down the rot and minimize the rot with the lime sulfur. Also, it'll start to make the color more consistency. So this will get like a grayish white appearance, whereas the live vein will have that brown wood with the living bark on it. This right here is a live vein of this tree. However, the rest of this is dead wood. It's hard to see that right now, but once we continue to clean it up and really showcase that, you'll be able to see this beautiful dance between the live vein and the dead wood. So we're at the soon-to-be famous Agresta Gardens. This is the Torulosa. That's the pot. Some of the gardens in the back. Under the wire. What? Under the wire. On this one?